Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's AMA. We've lots of interesting things to discuss with regards to the progress of the project. Herman is here, and he's joined us to give us the high level on what's going on with the most important aspects of the project. So I'll just introduce Herman now and hand you over to him. Thanks.
Thank you, Owen. In a while, there has been a lot of progress. I'll try to keep today's update quite synthetic and brief. We've performed a few maintenance upgrades to both the relay chain and parachain nodes. This simply to provide better stability. I've still seen some reports of slow or I guess excessively slow transaction speeds of the bridge, or processing speeds rather. We've also performed some maintenance on that. So specifically in the Polygon end, both inbound and outbound transactions to the bridge and out of the bridge should be quicker and more reliable. More broadly, we'll be undertaking, as we have, we'll continue to undertake a few market-based operations to sustain shares price in relation to some changes, I would say, in the Treasury policies of our project. We believe that as we undertake greater investment in the basis of our project, namely the brand, the appearance, as well as the token, we believe it sound that we also partake of some investment in market activities. And this will sustain Cherry's price as well as its volumes, its liquidity across its various trading venues, PancakeSwap, Gate, and others. This investment is, of course, it's worth mentioning because it's a change in Treasury policy, as I mentioned. We've been quite conservative, and we do have money to spare. And rather than spending it as we would have on further developing, which we will, of course, continue to do, the policy would be to accelerate spending or divert in limited portions spending from less tangible objectives to, as I mentioned earlier, and I also mentioned in AMAs prior, retaining the brand's value, perhaps improving how we communicate its value in the brand and the potential value, as well as the token by which people can participate in the brand and the value that undergirds it. The exact modalities of this, I guess it's best not to disclose. Of course, you don't want, let's say, to people to front run us as we, let's say, announce a token buyback and the project, our treasury gets a varied price due to people manipulating the markets in response to our announcement of a buyback, let's say. But we will perform these actions. We will invest a greater sum of the remaining treasury in such actions. Buybacks are just one of these types of actions. We can certainly improve the market, not just by buying back tokens, which is quite difficult, since we only have so much a budget for it that would and could be spent on such action, compared to the large sale volume that could arise in response to this announcement of these actions. But other actions could involve, as I mentioned earlier, providing liquidity to the various market venues, as well as varying or assisting volumes with market making, arbitrage between the various market venues and others. Beside this, and beside the continued efforts to maintain the project, the effort has shifted now for about 3 months to storage. A preliminary version of this storage is out and has been out for many months, accessible through the, I believe, the upload file feature on Trade.place. This simply uploads a file and places it on the IPFS node connected to any validator of the Treasury network. In response, you'll be issued a identifier by which you can then fetch it from Trade.place, as well as other IPFS indexing facilities. We plan on expanding this, but primarily the objective is to redesign from scratch a effective monetary system that rewards not just storing files, which is easily gained, I would say, and it can be quite easily gained in other networks that have attempted similar feats, such as Filecoin and others, and assigning greater value or greater weight to this reward computation to nodes, to throughput. So not so much as storage, but rather a combination of storage and demand for that storage. So if these nodes have files that are queried a lot, there's of course a greater value to holding them rather than storing files that are seldom queried or not at all. This is quite a complex and hard issue. We believe to be able to, well, I'll refrain from any announcement now, but there is progressive and compounding progress and improvement in this aspect. And once this aspect is unlocked, we can fit it with what we've already built as the technology to store the files and to distribute them, both to store them and to distribute them to the clients, the users who would make use of them. And that combination would, we hope, provide an effective competitor to the incumbent Filecoins and others. We have demonstrated interest in this product. We've been working with partners for a long time now. Some startups, some not. We've had enterprise deployments of this very technology, through which now the project is mostly financed. I've seen questions about the project's finances. We will not disclose much information about that, mostly because um, it is I would say, does not fully regard cherry token holders, simply because there is no clear relation between revenues and share. As we try to work that out, of course, it is our duty as stewards of the projects, but also a sort of fiduciary duty as well, certainly as holders of chair, it is in our interest, but also it is an interest of preserving the technology, the brand and community behind the technology that will ultimately allow us to spread it further beyond what a team of perhaps a dozen can distribute to enterprise clients. But anyways, that also is a factor within this pivot in how the Cherry Treasury is assigned to this market action rather than other investments or perhaps savings. Enough about that. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But for now, I'll leave you to Owen, who will have an update on other aspects of the project. Thank you.
Hey, sorry about the delay there. A bit of silence there, dead air as they call it. So first things first, I will need to apologize because I actually dashed out just before the call started, and I'm currently in a place where there's a small amount of background noise. If it's really a case where I need to try to chat and I'll just take a moment and then come back. Sean, in the meantime, thanks all for tuning in, of course. Herman had a fairly thorough explanation of where things are in the project. Certain things have not changed, especially with regards to storage, and that being the focus of where we're going for the foreseeable future. This has been worked on for months and months, and that is certainly something kind of say for where we expect this to actually or to what level we expect the storage functionality to be upon release. It may seem as if other aspects of the development workload were put to the back burner completely while the bridge issues were being resolved. This wasn't the case, and the storage function has and continue to be worked on. So when it does hit the market, as I discussed in our last AMA, we expect it to be a strong contender and a strong competitor from day one. So that's quite important. Other things that Herman touched on are specifically with regards to our brand and shoring up the trust in the project and also the token itself as the kind of underpinning factor in the Cherry network. And of course, we will divulge more details in that regard pretty soon. But that's not really something for me to discuss right now. These are things that Herman and the rest are deliberating on at the moment. So what I would say is that from a business perspective, we need to keep things ticking over. I mentioned that there would be, in short order, kind of reinvigoration of the social channels. That hasn't happened quite yet, but stay tuned and we will have, when that comes, it will be quite extensive. We are not. I'm not overestimating how difficult it is to post things in social media. We want to go about it the right way. We're going to be enlisting marketing partners across the board in the different marketing functions as well. So we're going to divulge some details about that again in future, but again, some of them probably will remain unknown. The conclusion, however, will be that from a marketing and brand perspective, Cherry is urgently being worked on, and we will show you the fruits of our labor soon. One aspect that I mentioned before that I'm going to do now is we're going to overhaul our kind of support and discussion functionality across Telegram in particular, and what that involves. And I hope to have it kind of set up tonight and then in effect tomorrow, so we'll utilize different kind of Telegram channels within our Telegram group. And we will also have, so to speak, a kind of ticketing system of some sort for people that have questions with regards to, for example, a stuck transaction or something like that. So we're going to put more structure on things so that we really need to have Cherry at the highest level of professionalism as we start to push on forward and really kind of attack the market in the near future. One aspect of this, in terms of adding more structure to everything, is the AMAs themselves. As we discussed before, we'll try have Herman on every second week. I will be present every week regardless. We're going to try and structure it so that more people, more of our partners, etc., come on board for the AMAs and discuss things with us. This may not be the most substantive. It might be more of a conversational kind of discussion, but those who are interested will be able to listen. As well, with regards to the AMAs, we're going to kind of expand the AMA recaps that we post, make them more of an official document, so to speak, and also just standardize when they're released, because sometimes it's the case where we're waiting for more details to add in to the AMA recap, but and then they can take a few days later or even longer in some cases. But what we're going to do is just as standard, they'll be released on the dot at 9 p.m. UTC, or essentially 4.5 hours after the AMA itself, or 5 hours after the AMA goes live. So that will be the rule going forward. There's plenty of other things that I want to discuss, but I think that some of them should be best left for next week. I don't know if Herman will join us next week, but regardless, I'll have a lot to talk about. There'll be some things that are in the pipeline that will hopefully be resolved by then. Herman, time to push on with the project. We're quite enthusiastic. Everybody's busy, working and happy, and now is the time to really think. So again, apologies for the poor sound quality. I'll recap all the things that I said and that Herman said, and that will be published in, what is it, 4 hours and 39 minutes. Add any other kind of documentation to support the things that we discuss, and I'll try and just like expand it to make it more of an engaging read. So that some people, it would be more like a kind of newspaper article on what's been going on with Cherry. I think that that's more shareable. I think that's more engaging than just a raw transcript. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. We've been quite busy, so there'll be no quiz today. There's a bunch of people that have had support questions for me. I'm going to try and resolve them. And now it's been very, very hectic the past couple of weeks, and some things have just fell to the back burner. But I will update you guys about it. About these things, I'll get back to the people that have DM'd me, and hopefully resolve your issues as soon as possible. So thank you for tuning in. Recap will be posted in 4 hours and 38 minutes. And I will be chatting to you guys. Anybody who's been waiting for my attention, I'll be able to get to that probably this evening or by noon tomorrow morning at the latest. So thanks, guys. We'll leave it there, and cheers for tuning in.